we'll go ahead and start. All right, well, today we are talking about DISC assessments, and I'm really excited about it. DISC assessments have been around for a very, very long time, and they have been proven to be extremely accurate. I want to talk to you a little bit about who we are, if I can get, can't get my screen to move. Cece, do you have any insight into why that might be?
I'm afraid I don't. It's unlikely it's connected to the webinar. Sometimes get your screen. Go ahead and click on your screen. Actually engage your mouse on your screen just in case you've got it on the other screen.
Yep, I don't. I'm clicking all over our screen. But it's
okay,
not
well,
there.
I would suggest you continue on with your notes. And if the screen unlocks at some point, you'll be able to advance.
All right, well, I am going to see if I can move another screen over and just use that one. This is my little cheap version. I'm going to try and make it a little bit larger because part of what we're going to be talking about, you won't be able to understand without being able to see what I'm doing. So let's see if I can figure out a way. For right now, I can tell you that let's see, I'm going to talk about who we are first, Cleaning Business Builders. And first I want to talk about Tom Stewart. He owns Castle Keepers of Charleston. If any of you haven't been to Castle Keepers yet, you should think about at least checking them out online. It's an amazing operation. 10,000 square feet of building along with, gosh, I don't know how many cars. He's our numbers guy. I'm not reading you this slide because I know you can read it yourself, but I'd like to hit on a few different things about this slide. Tom has the artsy feel of excellence, which Derek and I both have as well. But one of the things that Tom has done that a lot of people haven't done in our industry is he's a SIM certified firm. If you don't know what that is, look it up because I don't have time to go into it today, but it is extremely intriguing, very hard to receive this certification, and tells you a lot about Tom just by knowing that he has this certification. He's an artsy past president. He's one of the authors of the HCT certification manual. He's a busy guy, and he really believes in working toward our industry success. Let's see, next is Derek. Alrighty, now I can't get anything to move on the screen either. Getting frustrated. So I might move it on the other screen and then bring it over, I guess. I'm sorry, everybody, that I seem to be having these technical difficulties. Let me see if I can make something happen on this other screen real quick. Right, so let's see if this is going to work. All right, next is Derek. Derek owns My Maid Service of Cincinnati. He also has a second location in Texas his brother runs. And he just opened a third location. I wish I had the name of that location. I don't have it off the top of my head. That he is co-owners with a previous office manager, which I think is amazing. A lot of people I know think that that's really cool. He finds a way to make things work. Derek is also, along with Tom, one of the Cleaning Business Today co-owners. He's co-owner, obviously, with Cleaning Business Builders, and he's also an ARCSI former board member. He was a board member with me. I also am part of Cleaning Business Builders. You can read my little stats right here. It feels weird reading them. But I also am an ARCSI Field of Excellence holder. If you don't have one, I recommend that you do that because it really does make a difference, and it's helping our industry to grow. Right now, it might not be making as much of a difference with some people, especially with like our clients, et cetera, but the more people that get it, the more people, or the sooner, we're going to be able to be making a big difference with our industry. All right, so together, let's move this little box out of the way here. Great. So together, we three have over $5 million in annual revenue just from residential operations. We all do a little bit more than just residential. Tom does the most of other types of things. He deals with vacation homes and other types of residential operations, but just from the residential, 5 million. 6 years of a combined experience in the residential cleaning industry. We're 3 IICRC certified firms. You guys can read all of this stuff. One of the things that I like about our partnership is that we are able to speak to people in small, medium, and large market dominations because we have all of these different markets covered. So I think that's a unique thing about us. Okay, so we are on this assessment webinar. It's part of a series. There are 6 series altogether, or 6 webinars, and this is the second one. These webinars have 2 goals that we are trying to meet. One is we're trying to make sure that anybody that is interested in these types of assessments, and we see a lot of value in assessments, has the information to be able to do what they can with these assessments. And the second thing is this is the beginning part of our Jumpstart program that we have. It's the Foundations of Success Jumpstart program. And the first 6 months of this program are dedicated to self-assessment in different ways. And so you'll hear me mention Jumpstart throughout this webinar today, and that's because they are getting specific additional things because of this webinar. So don't let that put you off when you hear me say stuff about Jumpstart. I will be talking to you at the end of this webinar about Jumpstart and exactly what the program is, but for right now, I just wanted to jump into the assessment and the webinar itself. All right, so assessments. What is the purpose of assessments? So assessments are the tools that we use to measure standards. If we don't have any assessments, we don't ever do assessment, we sort of are missing a big piece of the entire puzzle. You have to know where things are now to be able to get to where they're going to be in the future. So you need to be able to figure it out and track it. Otherwise, how are you going to know when you get wherever it is that you're trying to go? Assessments also inspire us to ask the hard questions, these especially as the teachers of the course. Are we teaching what we think we're teaching? Because we don't always know. We have to check. Are students learning what they're supposed to be learning? And especially with the DISC assessment, we want to know if there's a way to teach the subject better for these particular people, the people that are in, for example, the Jumpstart program this time. We want to make sure that how we're teaching the program is tailored directly to these people, and that's part of what the DISC assessment is going to be helping us. All right, what can you learn through the DISC assessment specifically? Because assessments all provide you different bits of knowledge and information, but specifically DISC. What can DISC do? So DISC can tell you who you are at your most natural state. And knowing who you really are can make a big difference for you and your acceptance of yourself, how you tailor your environment, how you act with the people that are in your environment, and understanding what is going to frustrate you and help you and all of those other things. So it helps you figure out how you can best utilize your natural style, and also what styles out there are most complementary to yours. So maybe you are always attracted to people like you. We tend to be attracted to people like us, and sometimes what can happen because of that is we keep bringing people like us into our organizations, which is great. It's nice to have a lot of people like us, especially our great qualities. We all have great qualities, but what about those other qualities that we don't have? If we keep bringing people into our businesses that are so much like us, we're missing out. We're missing out on over half of the population there. So another thing you can figure out from this is how do you find those people, the people that can complement you and your business? How to deal with customers and your employees more effectively. A lot of people forget the customer piece. I tend to usually hammer harder on the employee piece, but this can really be effective in dealing with your clients, especially when clients are under pressure, or if they are, if there's a service recovery necessary for some reason. That's really, really nice to know what your personal behavioral style is so that you can deal effectively. And then where are the gaps for your business? Where are things missing? Where are there parts of your behavioral style that aren't actually being able to meet the needs of your company? And how can you deal with that? What can you do? All right, so we're going to jump directly into a DISC assessment. For those of you on the call that have done a DISC assessment already, how they work, sorry, this is just a little recap, but how they work is you're sent a link, and then you fill out a long assessment. It takes, half hour, something like that, and then you're sent a report. And today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going over a report. We're going to be going over my report. This report was done not that long ago, looks like only 4 months ago or so. And I'm going to show you the different types of insight that you can get from the DISC assessment report. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to be talking to you about the different behavioral styles that DISC is teaching about and educating us about, and helping you to figure out, oh, okay, this is what I can use in my business or in my personal life, figuring out how this information can be used and how to figure out some of the stuff even if you don't have a DISC assessment. Now, if you're in Jumpstart, obviously you will be getting a link to the assessment and you'll be doing it. And you'll be doing a debriefing with me. This entire process usually runs somewhere around $400, but it's included in your Jumpstart program, so don't worry. So as we're going through here, you'll be hearing me talk about the different stuff, and when you have your assessment done, you'll see, oh, this is what she meant. You'll be able to see how it's going to all play into you. But to begin right now, we're going to show you my exact assessment. Pull it up here. Okay. So the assessment is a total of, I think, 50-some pages long, and it's very, very comprehensive. So it's not, or it's, I guess it's 53 pages up here. It's a very, very comprehensive report. We're not going to be going over all of it today, but I do want to try and get through a good chunk of it just to give you some insight. It gives you a little introduction. On the introduction section, it's going to tell you some basic stuff about yourself that you're already going to know. A lot of the stuff that you know will read, you already know about yourself, but reading it in context and pulling it out and looking at it under a magnifying glass makes a really, really big difference. So what it says here is behavioral research suggests that the most effective people are those who understand themselves, both their strengths and their weaknesses, so they can develop strategies to meet the demands of their environment. This makes perfect sense. It's just what I've been saying, really, really fancified. All right, two additional things about the DISC assessment. While you are reading through, I'm going to be talking, while we're going through the assessment, I'm going to be talking about things like, this thing's not exactly like me, or I don't really see this in me, or other people see this in me, but I don't, those types of things. You have those things going on with you as well. Overall, the assessment should feel between 90 and 98% accurate. Mine seems to be about 95%. I found very few things that were not accurate for me, but at different times I might be focusing on them in different ways. The second thing is that there is no wrong assessment. There's no wrong thing, and there's no right thing. How you are is how you are, and the key is not to try and figure out how you could be better or what you could change to be more like somebody else. That's not in your best interest. What's in your best interest is to delve into exactly who you really are at your core, at your base level, so that you can use who you are to your best advantage. So it's not about changing who you are. It's about figuring out how you are and who you are so that you can use that stuff. And when you find that you have some limitations, how can you modify those? How can you shore yourself up against those things? So on a lot of pages, I'll be just talking about a few things at a time. On this page, I wanted to talk about, we're going to be going over these 2 things. So the entire report talks about 4 things: how you respond to problems and challenges, how you influence others, how you respond to the pace of the environment, and how you respond to rules and procedures set by others. For the purposes of today's webinar, we're going to be dealing mostly with the first 2. All right, general characteristics. You're going to read through this. You're going to see that it's very, very accurate. It always is very, very accurate. I pulled out a couple of statements that I wanted to show you about mine to start giving you an idea of how I'm going to be working with this, how thinking about the information in a certain way can help you to get more information about your workforce, your clients, etc. So remember that these are general statements that have all been added together based on little tiny bits of information that is culled through your assessment and put together. So they won't all be exactly on target, but the combined total of all of the information that you're given will sound very, very much like you, which is the truth in my situation as well. One of the things I want to point out is I like to work with people and help them. That's true. That's why I'm on this webinar. I like to do it. It's fun for me. I like to be able to be helpful. It's a little bit awkward because I have to try and figure out how what I'm saying can help you out there and in the phone world and the computer world without being able to talk to you. Normally I would want to ask you more questions about yourself. And you're going to see that as I'm going through the assessment. You're going to see this about me. I might also misjudge the abilities of others. That's something that I need to know about myself. And because I do know that about myself, I can remember to look carefully at other people's DISC assessments, figure out exactly what their behavioral style is so that I can not misjudge them. And I can more accurately talk to them at their level in a way that they can most likely hear me well. So it is a very helpful thing for me because of my personality style or my behavioral style. I'm good at solving problems that deal with people by using, and their feelings, especially if I'm dealing with people and they're having weird feelings. I'm good at dealing with that. I don't know why, it's just something I'm good at. Do I need to change it? Do I need to do anything about it? Nope, it's just how I am. But knowing that I am means I don't have to be afraid of different types of situations. So you want to know what are the things about you that you are just naturally good at or naturally irritate you or bother you. That's what you're looking for. I will have a tendency to use verbiage when I'm trying to convince somebody about something or explain something to somebody rather than reports. So here I'm using a report and you'll find me talking a little bit too much probably, at least in some areas. I'm going to be trying to modify that because I know this about myself. I've got a report. I'm going to try and let the report do the talking, but I also want you to be able to see what I'm getting out of the report and what you will also be getting by doing an evaluation of this type on yourself. I'm a good talker. I'm also a good listener. Unfortunately, I don't have a chance to listen very much, so I might struggle. It's a good thing for me to know. Good thing for you to know about yourself. One of the first pages that you run into is the value to the organization. Right now, anybody that's not in the Jumpstart program, write on a piece of paper, on a piece of scratch paper, values to the organization. And think about what is your value to your organization. What do you bring? If you're in Jumpstart, you'll be getting this report and it's going to help you a lot, but go ahead and make these notes to yourself anyway. And let's see what you come up with. Go ahead and get a list. What you want to do is look at the list and pick out 3, 4 different things and focus in on those things. I negotiate conflicts well. I accomplish goals through people. That means for me, it's very helpful to have good people around me because that's how I'm going to get my goals accomplished. I'm not going to do them myself. I'm really good at building confidence in other people. So if people have a low level of confidence, it's good for me. No problem. I can build their confidence up. I don't have to worry about employees that come to me and maybe aren't all that confident. It's easy for me to work with those people. I'm optimistic and enthusiastic. That's great. Sometimes I have to watch that because it irritates other behavioral styles. So sometimes I'm I'm looking at all of these as pluses and minuses because they all are. Accomplishing goals through other people, that's great, but it's also a hindrance because sometimes I don't get my own goals accomplished, right? If I don't have anybody to do something for me, things will just languish. Negotiating conflict, it means I might be in it more than you might like if it were you. So what are your things? What are your values to your organization? What do you bring? The next thing that you want to be thinking about is checklist for communicating. This is how to communicate with you. This is an important something that you need to pay attention to because all the people in your office, all of the people around you, all the people in your life, your husbands, wives, kids, if they know how to communicate with you, they're going to do it better. But you need to know what that is too. So on the next page of your little list there, right, checklist for communicating. How do you like to communicate with people? How do you like for them to communicate with you? What works best? Jumpstart people, when you get your list, you'll be just picking out 3 or 4 different things, and you'll be giving that information to people. So anybody that's not in Jumpstart, I recommend that you create your list, but try not to have too big of a list because the list gets overwhelming. Even with this list, maybe, I don't even know if all of these are true. When I was running through them, I'm like, kind of, yeah, kind of, yeah, that's important, yeah, that's important. But the 3 that I highlighted, these are really, really important to me. So look for those 3 things about you that really, really matter, that you want people to communicate with you in this way specifically because it will really make your communication stronger. For me, I want them to define problems in writing. When I read about a problem, it's much more clear for me. Provide solutions, not just opinions. So I like opinions too, but I want solutions. Don't just tell me over and over again what the problem is. I don't understand that. I get lost. Like, why are we talking? Why are you telling me this? Give me an idea of what the solution might be or what you're looking for from me, and we're going to have a better communication. And then look for things that I'm not telling you. Look for my oversight. I love that. I love it when people say, oh, Liz, you didn't tell me this. What about this? That's helpful to my behavioral style. Some people would think that, yeah, but I'm not going to tell you that. That's telling you what you're doing wrong. Not in my world. And this is what we want you to be able to understand about the DISC assessment. The DISC assessments don't tell you what's right and what's wrong. They tell you what is and what works for people. For me, it works if people look for my oversight and tell me what I'm missing, what's wrong. That might not work for you. Probably doesn't if you're not my exact same behavioral style. And chances are good you're not. All right. More stuff on communication. These are the same, you want that same list on ways not to talk with you. Because we also all have this list. Don't do these things if you want to have a good talk with me. If you want to have a good communication experience with me, don't be curt, cold, or tight-lipped. Don't give me one-word answers. I'm going to shut down. I'm going to get irritated. I'm not going to want to talk to you, and I'm going to find every way I can to get away from you. Don't leave decisions hanging in the air. I like decisions to be I like to know exactly where we are at the end. I don't like the whole, well, we could maybe do this and do that and then leave. Doesn't work for me. And don't ramble. No, isn't that weird? Right? This is weird. I'm saying don't ramble to me, but listen to me. Anybody that's talked to me for longer than 10 minutes knows I ramble. So why don't I like it in other people? I don't know, but it doesn't work for me. When other people ramble, I get lost. Like, what's the point? I'm so confused. What are you talking about right now? So rambling doesn't work. You need to have this list. Make sure that you can tell other people how not to talk to you. This is going to be hugely important for you, especially when you begin to hire, or if you already have them, your office staff. When your office staff knows how not to talk to you, your communications will clear up. They will be so much easier to be able to handle. Again, Jumpstart people, you'll be getting this entire list to choose from because it's a little bit hard to just pull them out. Okay, we're not going to go over this slide. I do want to go over this one really, really quickly. Most people have a lot more on their list than I do, but think about your ideal environment. Don't think about your workplace right now. Don't think about where you work. think, if you can, about the types of things that you would like to see in an environment. For example, I was doing a debriefing with somebody yesterday, and one of the things that was mentioned in different ways throughout her assessment, but especially on this page, was that she doesn't handle conflict well. So her ideal environment needs to be calm and peaceful. Now, my environment doesn't need to be that way. Remember, we saw earlier on my assessment that I handle conflict well. Conflict doesn't freak me out, doesn't bother me at all, doesn't irritate me. I don't mind it. I just like working through it, and I actually almost enjoy the process. So for me, that's not important. But what's important for you? What does your perfect environment look like? Because guess who's responsible for getting that? You. You have to get that ideal environment for you. Once you have that, you are going to begin to be your most effective. Right? Hear that little rambling thing? Right? That's that weird rambling thing that I don't like in other people, but you're going to see in me. Right? So start putting down your ideal environment. Right? This page is one of the pages that I love to hit on, mostly for this last item here, the others perception extreme. This is very helpful for you when you are dealing with your employees or your clients, when you are under stress or under pressure, when you're frustrated, if a client calls to complain, if your employee's upset about something. You want to know that this is how other people potentially can see you. Because of your style, this is the extreme of your style, which you're going to be more of who you are when you're under pressure. So for me, I might get overly confident. So let's say I'm talking with a client and she's upset about something. If she thinks that I'm being overly confident or I'm being a poor listener, even if I'm not, but that's how I'm seeming to her, how's my experience going to be with her? Terrible. She's not going to listen to me. I'm a self-promoter. All I'm doing is talking and I'm not listening, right? Because remember, I'm a good talker and I'm also a good listener. But at the extreme, it goes the opposite way. So you have to know what these things are for you. If you're not in the Jumpstart program, my recommendation is ask your friends, ask your family. You probably already know. They've probably already said things to you like, oh my gosh, you're not listening when you're in the middle of something. Or they say, you're so stubborn. Or they say, oh, I can't talk to you. All you want to do is argue. What are those things? You want to know what those things are so you can modify them when you're under pressure. When you find yourself in those situations, you want to know, oh, I have to be careful because this is how I can be seen. And you can use terminology to get around that and you can modify. Okay. This is probably the most useful page in the entire DISC assessment. There is so much information on this page, and I'm not going to go over all of it with everybody today, but I want to give everybody a working understanding of what this page is. So this is the basic DISC descriptors all on one page. You'll notice in the middle here, there's this little line that is all in color. This line is called the energy line. The D for dominance, the I for influencing, the S for steadiness, and the C for compliance. Let me get rid of my little highlighter if I can. Ugh. Okay. This energy line is where everything is based off of. So everything goes up or down according to the energy line. If it's rising, then it's considered high. If it's going down, it's considered low. And what I mean by going up or going down is the color. See this color here? That means that I am a high I for influencing. I'm also a high S. Now, it doesn't look that high, but anything that is above the energy line is high. These things would be low, a low D and a low C. Most of the time, we're concerning ourselves with what is high, because what is high is the main things that we are acting out on. These are the main things that are more action-oriented and that people are going to see in us, and that you're going to be seeing in other people. These are the things that are more driving of them. These are more being things down here. So you want to be looking for these things in other people because it tells you a lot about how they are. Because my I is very high, and when I took this test, it's not as high as it is sometimes. I've had all of these, and other times when I've taken this test, every single one of these has been in color. Maybe as I'm getting older, I am mellowing a little bit with age. I'm not sure. Same thing with my S. It's mellower. It used to be higher up here onto non-demonstrative, and now it's down here a little bit more. As you mature, things are going to change. Obviously, younger people have a little bit different behavioral styles than as you get older, but believe it or not, they don't change that much. Like, it's rare for somebody that is a high I to ever become a low I. I haven't heard of that happening. I haven't been in training around this for that long, but I have heard of, read, etc., thousands now, different assessments about them, and I haven't heard of that yet. So there are anomalies, but for the most part, how you are is how you are. If you're a high I, high S, you're going to remain that way. The levels might change over time, though. All right, so some things that, how this little chart can help you. I'm going to talk to the people who are not in Jumpstart first, because I'm going to go into this very, very detailed. If you are in Jumpstart, I'm going to give you a lot of insight into how to use this little chart. But for people that aren't in Jumpstart, what you want to be recognizing about yourself is you are this way, however you are. And you may potentially be attracted to people that are also very, very similar to your behavioral style, that have these same types of qualities, because, and mostly these high things. You're going to notice these things in other people, and you'll really like them. They make good sense to you because that's how you are. You may end up hiring this type of people. Unfortunately, if you hire this type of people, you're going to miss out on these people, right? You're going to miss out on these people, the people that are on this high C or this high D, and you need these people as well, because look at how important some of these things are: ambitious, driving, aggressive, competitive, decisive. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and she said it's really, really difficult for her because she's way down here on the D, and she has a hard time making decisions. Sometimes it's easy for her to just let stuff go because she's not very determined. She's not really all that ambitious, so sometimes she's like, should I even be doing this? I mean, it's difficult. If she really wants to make her business a go, she needs to have some of these things. She doesn't have them herself. It means she needs to go out there and look for them in other people. All right, so what you want to be doing is you want to, if you're looking for these types of things in other people, you want what you don't have, because all of this stuff would be wonderful to have. There's nothing on this list that is bad. They might seem bad at some, like demanding might seem bad, but there are some times when you need to have a demanding person. Sometimes critical might seem bad, but sometimes you need somebody that can critique very, very well. Everything on here is very, very useful and helpful. So the more of these behavioral styles that you can meet, the better rounded your company will be. The more you can meet the needs in all different areas. You're never going to have all of them, so you have to get them from other people. Additionally, how you can use this form is know that when you're listening to your clients talk, listen for certain things. Listen for these types of behaviors. If you hear somebody that's being very tactful and being very diplomatic, that is somebody that you're probably going to have an easy time talking to about the damage that happened at their house. But if you hear somebody that's being very opinionated about what happened, and they're telling you that they know that the person wasn't being careful in their house and they're being obstinate about it, being stubborn about it, it's probably not going to help you to try and force them to listen to your way of thinking. So picking out the different things in people, what you're hearing from them, can help you determine how you should talk to them and the next things that you should say. So what you want to be doing if you're not in the Jumpstart program is write down just this line: responsible, sociable, stable, balanced judgment, and then below the energy line items, write conservative, reflective, mobile, and firm, because all of the words in the column grow off of those words. So, for example, on the compliance column, firm is the first one on the bottom, and it goes all the way down to careless with details, but it goes from firm to independent, and then to self-willed, and then to stubborn. More stubborn is obstinate, more obstinate is opinionated, etc. And every column works that way, from here up and from here down. So putting just the first word gives you an idea of who you are and who other people are as well. And that's how you can begin to use it. Now, if you're in Jumpstart, of course, I'm going to give you a lot more information about how to use this specifically with based on your behavioral style. All right, moving on real quick. There's another thing in DISC that people talk about a lot is the adapted style. Your adapted style is how you feel you need to be to get your best results. When I did my DISC assessment, I was thinking about work. And so this is the adapted style that the ways that I feel I have to adapt my natural tendencies to be the most effective in my job. This is very, very helpful to know. So if you're not in Jumpstart, write this down. What is your adapted style? What are the things that you know you do that they don't necessarily feel all that comfortable, but you want to do them, you like to do them, and when you do them, you feel better. So contacting people using a variety of modes, that's something that I have to do. Making tactful decisions, maybe not something that I want to do all the time, I want to do it my way. But when I do it this way, I feel better, and I see that it's necessary. Firm commitment to accomplishments, same thing. So what are the things that you do that necessarily you don't love to do, but you see that they're important? Know what they are so that you can make sure that you're doing more of those things. All right, next two pages are interesting. If you run your own business, this page is going to tell you how to motivate, how you are motivated. So you'll see that on this page it says, this is how Liz likes to be motivated. The problem is we run our own companies. Who's going to motivate you? Guess what? You are. You have to motivate yourself. So you want to know what these things are. What is the best way for you to motivate you? Because you run your own company. There's nobody out there standing in your office saying, ooh, here comes Liz, I'm going to motivate her today. Nope, it's not going to happen. So I have to watch these things myself. For me, I need to have freedom from control and detail. If there's too much detail in something, I can't even pay attention anymore. If I'm being too controlled, I also can't pay attention. So what does that mean for me? I have to find people in my life and in my work environment that can handle detail, that are not going to try and control the situation, right? Those are the things you want to look for. Same thing, a support system to do the detail work. Obviously, I have to hire people like that. Are those people like me? No. I have to look for those people. So when I'm hiring, that's what I'm looking for. Freedom to talk and participate on the team, I need to be able to talk. If somebody else wants to do all the talking, I'm going to start feeling shut down and I'm not going to perform my job well. Same thing on the keys to managing page. You have to manage yourself. You have to make yourself do what has to be done. There's nobody going to be standing over you with a clipboard saying, Liz, did you get such and such done? Did you do such and such done? What are the things that you know you need to do to manage yourself well. For me, I have to have bottom line measurement. I know that everything has to have a bottom line measurement, a number, attach something to it that I can see and I can compare. I know that if I have that, I will do a better job. What are the things for you? What are the things that you have to have? Of course, Jumpstart, you're going to get this list. It's a lot easier when you have the list. But if you don't have the list, talk to the people around you and see who you have. A lot of times that will give you a little bit of insight too. Next few pages, almost everybody has 3 or 4 pages of time wasters, things that you do that waste your time. We all have these. When you get your list, don't feel bad about it. And if you're not doing an assessment, understand that you have a lot of things that you do that you waste time. Don't ignore them. Write them down. Pay attention to them. Look for these areas. How about in procrastination, in the daydreaming area, in the poor filing system area, desire to be involved with too many people? There's tons of different areas, tons of different reasons why you might waste time. Know what they are so that you can start to tick them off one by one. The reason for this is you need to know how you're wasting time so that you can begin to combat it. Otherwise, you're just going to keep doing it. Okay, more time wasters. You see this? How many pages there are? Everybody has this many. If you're thinking, no, I don't have that many, you do. What we're looking at also is the causes of the time waster and the solution. So it looks like more than there actually are, but everybody has a bunch of these things that you're doing that you're wasting time. When you're feeling frustrated at the end of the day that things aren't going along as fast as you want, if you have been in the same spot for 2 years and you just can't get out, some of these are on your list. You have to be looking for these things. You don't actually need to have this list. So if you're not in Jumpstart, don't think, oh, but I don't have the list. You don't need a list. You know what you're doing. And if you don't know exactly what you're doing, do a time study on yourself. Track your times and see exactly what it is that you are doing. Because this stuff makes a huge difference. You see how many pages there are, right? Huge time waster over here. That's me. Areas for improvement. Sometimes they have a hard time seeing what these things are, and so the list is really helpful. In my case, sometimes I can be so enthusiastic that I can be seen as superficial. I have to watch out for that, especially if I'm dealing with certain types of people. They see me as superficial, and it's just enthusiasm, but they can't see it that way. You want to look for that stuff in yourself. Get an action plan. You're going to create one. The whole next section, I don't have anything highlighted, and the reason for that is it's all about the motivators. You get a big graph like this to print out also. But the next section is all about what motivates you. How are you motivated? What are the things that make you do the things that you do? I'm just going to give you 2 examples here. For example, I am motivated by, I have a high theoretical motivator. That's what this is on this chart. And that means that I am motivated mainly by learning, education, probably no shock, right? Discovery of knowledge and my appetite for learning. I'm always wanting to learn new things, and I'm also very involved in other people learning new things. The high utilitarian. The utilitarian is the money driver. Mine's not actually that high. Most people in our industry, most people as entrepreneurs have a much higher utilitarian, higher than this blue line, which is the mean. And means that, we're focused on money. We care about making money. This is a good thing. You need to have a pretty high driver there if you want to be very, very successful. So everybody has different things that are driving them. Aesthetic. Are you driven by beauty and how things look and the artistic appeal of nature, etc.? Utilitarian, we talked about, is money and economic things. Social. Do you care about people and what's important to the environment? And people that typically have a high social or altruistic driver will maybe be all natural cleaners. Good to know, right? You want to hire some people like that if you're going to be caring about that type of stuff. Individualistic and political. Many, many times entrepreneurs have a high individualistic driver. It means that you're driven by doing what, by power, by your own personal drive. You want to be better simply because you like power, you want to have power. It's common. The drivers are awesome. It's really, really helpful for you to know what they are and to understand what other people, the people especially that work for you, what those are. Handy dandy to look chart. Those of you that are in Jumpstart will see this chart, and I'll be able to help you understand exactly how to work with this stuff. Alrighty, so that is the assessment itself. The next steps. If you're not in Jumpstart, determine your style based on information that I gave you today, or take the assessment yourself at cleaningbusinessbuilders.com, and then determine your next steps for yourself based on who you are. You have to figure that out. You have to decide based on the little bit of information that I gave you today, where do you want to go with that? If you're a Jumpstart member, complete the assessment, the link you're going to get, and do a debrief with me, about an hour to do that, and then begin working on your list. You're going to have an entire list. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the Jumpstart program for those of you that don't know anything about it. And let's see. I saw a little thing that said I had some questions. Let's see. If you've got questions for Liz, now's a great time to type them. Thank you, Cece. And Derek says on here that it was Dayton. Yay, thank you, Derek. All right, let's go back a little bit. So the foundations of success, we have a model that we follow. It's this is a service business, and we all are trying to make things clean. That's our goal. We want to clean stuff. But to be able to clean stuff, we have to do a few things. And Foundations program works on all of these different levels. So it uses the people that it's going to take to get the cleaning done. These are the marketing, sales, the processes, what's going to happen to get the cleaning done, who we're going to be cleaning for, and this is how we're going to do it. The supplies, equipment, etc. All of those things go into the scheduling pipeline, dispatching, and eventually we get some cleaning done. So the Foundations of Success program is focusing on all of those different pieces. As a graduate, you can plan on getting all of this stuff from being a graduate. You will wake up knowing you have the labor you need today with an easy to use attendance policy that actually works. Wouldn't that be nice? You're going to have that if you're in the Jumpstart program. You're going to learn the hidden secrets that are known only to the big companies. It's one of those things. You just don't know what you don't know because you're not there yet. You're going to consistently enjoy impressive quality ratings in the high 90th percentile. So we're going to help you do that. You're going to receive 1 year of ongoing support. I can't read all of these to you. It's going to take me too long. I have too much stuff that I have to go through. So hopefully you have a chance to read over them all yourself. The curriculum itself for the Jumpstart program deals with these major topics: business strategy, employee life cycle, the sales procedure, cleaning procedure, all of your operations, and your marketing. You can see all of the different things that we're doing within these topics because there's so much more than just one little tiny piece, right? Cleaning procedure, you need to know the science, the procedural options. You need to have a safety manual, work loading, what's your bill rate, price increases, how do you do that? How do you control your quality? These are all different things that you have to know how to do, and that's what you're going to get. The curriculum for the Jumpstart program and for all the Foundations is huge. There's a ton of it: strategy and planning, human resources. Typically, you're going to fill up at least these 2 binders, and typically be looking at a 3rd binder just with materials. So $4,500 value that you're going to be receiving. It's a huge amount of stuff. This is a big program. The Jumpstart program is not a program that is designed for people that are like, oh no, my business is going great and everything's perfect, I'm just looking for a little extra help. That's not what this program is. This program is designed for people that are stuck usually. They just can't grow. They don't have all of the processes and procedures in place, and they're not able to get where they're trying to go. You'll have 6 months of evaluations and assessments. This is the second piece, the DISC assessment. This is over $2,500 in value, just in assessments. The failure to implement is the #1 reason that any business investment fails. I'm not talking because I want you to think about that. It's not because you don't know stuff. It's because you don't do stuff. You don't get it done. So the Jumpstart experience is very unique in that we're going to address that problem. We're going to help you implement. We want to make you do it, get it done, not just talk about it, think about it, plan on it, but do it. We're just calling it our Jumpstart experience because we're going to jumpstart 2015 for anybody that's in the program. We are going to have 55 hours of classes and workshops in this week. You will come to Castle Keepers, Tom's company. You will spend an entire week there. You will leave with over 20 complete tasks. We will be paying for your breakfast, lunch, and your dinner because you're going to be working. You are not going to have time to be worrying about meals. We're not letting you go for that long. You're going to be working hard. If you don't want to work, if you're one of those people that likes to go to an event and sort of hang out for most of the time, visit a couple of classes, this is not the event for you. This is not an event. This is going to be a new way of life. This is a program that you're going to be inducted into and you are going to work through. Remember, this is a year-long program. You're going to be lodged when you go to Charleston. You're going to be lodged at a beach resort. And the big benefit here to me is, you know how when you go to an event and you get all of this information, it's amazing, and then you go home and how do you do it? What do you do with all of this stuff? That's not going to happen here because when you go back to your beach house, you're not going to go back by yourself. You're not going to go back and turn on the TV and veg out. No, you're going to go down to the beach. And what are you going to do on the beach? You're going to walk with everybody else that was in class with you for the last 10 hours, 11 hours, and you're going to talk about what you learned and what you implemented and how to make it even stronger, even better. You're not going to stop for 24 hours, 7 days if you want, right? This is a Monday through Friday event, but if you stay longer, you can. This is going to be a different type of event, the Jumpstart event, this one long, week-long event, because remember, this is an entire program. It's not just an event. It's a big program. You're going to go home with a responsibility grid. I'm not going to read all of these because I have a lot of pages that I have to go through, and I just don't have time to get it all in. But you're going to go home with everything you need to create and strengthen the foundation of your business. If you're in the situation where you've gotten some information from some people and a little bit more information from somebody else and some other bits of information here, you created some stuff on your own and you have a sort of foundation for how you're building your company and what you're building your company on, but it's creaky, it's crumbly, things fall through the cracks, it's not tight, it's not strong. That's why you need the Foundations program. That's who this program is for. It's to solidify everything, make your foundation strong, everything building on itself, one thing on top of another, built on reason, not on, oh, this is what I got today, so I'm going to do this. No, that is not a smart way to build a business. So you're going to go home with all these things. And these things, how about a bill rate calculator, a customized plan to get customer feedback and reviews and testimonials? Do you have a plan? Or you just sort of do it ad hoc? You need a plan. You're going to have a complete consumer profile for target marketing. Do you have a plan? Do you know who you're marketing to? Do you make this decision intentionally? Because if you're not doing it intentionally, it's not going to happen. You need to make a real commitment to building your dream business. If you are willing to make that commitment, we will too. We're going to be there too. We're going to be there with you every step of the way, helping you to get exactly what you need to get out of the program for that entire week. We're going to get you to go home with the stuff that is going to be the most impactful stuff for you and your company. You're also going to get, I told you this was a year-long program, right? And you're also going to get 6 more months of ongoing support. That DISC assessment that we've been talking about, we're going to be using that DISC assessment through this entire program to help you get exactly what it is that you need out of the program. Knowing who you are is going to be instrumental in helping us to get you what you need. One of the things that you'll be doing is you'll be getting an accountability partner so that you can be hooked up after we leave the event and you actually get more stuff done, because you can't get every single thing done in a week. Obviously, remember, it's a year-long program. You're also going to get 6 months of accountability calls with all 3 of us, Garrick, Tom, and myself, and we're going to help you move through the action plan that we're going to create in Charleston and help you move through it and stay on track. Because part of what you need is the accountability. Part of what you need is creating the new habits and the new patterns of success. Right now, if you're not where you want to be, you know you're not doing what you should be doing. Some days you're doing all you can, but it's not enough. It's not the right stuff on the right day at the right time. We need to help you with that stuff. That's what we want to help you with. You're also going to get membership into the private Facebook group. Some of you are on this call are probably already in that group, and you can attest to how amazing that group is. You can get anything answered there. It's private. It's not going to be shared. It's with people you know that you spend time with that are working on the same stuff you're working on. It's huge, huge benefit. These are some bonuses that you're going to get. I already told you you're going to be getting the assessment, but you're also going to be getting the high-pep role-play videos. If you haven't seen these are the role-play videos in the high-pep program, the High Performance Employee Program that I created. These videos come to you on a monthly basis, and they're leadership-based. They help you be a better leader, putting different leadership things into place. The next one is the daily engagement videos. These videos are awesome. I love these videos. Short, tiny little videos. 3 to 7 minutes on average. They're meant to be played to your technicians. Play them every single day. And all these videos do is get your people to believe all of the things that you've already been saying. They provide credibility to you. When they hear what you've been saying all along on the TV monitor, coming from somebody that has been doing this for over 20 years for me right now, all of a sudden everything you say makes sense, and they're able to start doing more of what you want. The next is a team building program. This is basically games in a box, exercises in a box, different games, team building exercises that you can do. Things you might do at your meeting, things that your people can do when they're out in the field. Just a little more of a fun type program. Get the 12-pack. The Made Money Starter Kit, we don't have time to go into it, but this is a motivational program and an engagement program. It's Made Money. It's also very helpful to keep you from spending all of your money in real money bonuses. You can start introducing Made Money. Target Marketing Toolkit, you get the Core Values deck. This is a deck of cards that helps you figure out what your core values are. Super easy peasy. It helps you with hiring, things that you never thought you were going to be able to get. I'm talking really fast now because I'm running out of time. I can feel it happening. You also get the HCT manual, the Professional House Cleaning Technician's Manual, Modern Cleaning Book on how to do that, a Foundations class shirt. Some of you that are in the Foundations program yet, you've ordered them. I don't think anybody's gotten theirs yet. They're coming. It's going to be fun. We're excited about that. $1,977.90. This program is huge. That's why you keep seeing all of this extra value. Are you worried about payments? Sign up today for the smallest monthly payment plan available, because the sooner you sign up, the sooner your payments can start, and it's smaller. You sign up later, it's going to be harder to pay. One of the things that is important is anybody that's in the Jumpstart program, we don't allow anybody else in your market to join join the program while you are in it, because we don't want everybody working on the same stuff in your market, right? We want you to have a unique advantage in your market. This happened actually at the last event I was at. One of the people that's in our Jumpstart program right now jumped up from the table and said, I'm signing up, and she conflicted somebody else out of the group. So we're serious about this. If you are interested in the program, make sure that you sign up ASAP. Make sure that you're not the one that's left in the dust. Here's the schedule. August 7th is the personal assessment that we already did, the business and personal. We just did the leadership assessment, the DISC 1. These are all the different things. I don't have time to go over everything, but there it is for you. Total program value, let's see, is, looks like I'm missing something on this page here, but I guess not. It's a $27,477.90 value. The total price is only $6,500. It's an amazing savings, but like I said, me personally, you guys saw on my risk assessment, I can't help it. I'm not the one that is super money focused, but I am really, really focused on learning, education. I see value in it above and beyond anything else. Program costs you $6,500. This is how the payment plan works. There's 3 ways you can do it. The full payment plan is you have to put down a $500 deposit to get started, and there's a $10 prepayment discount, and you have to have everything paid by October 15th to be considered a full payment plan. Everybody else has to have their $3,000, I think, how much is it that has to be done? The standard payment plan has to be paid by January 9th. This is when we all meet up. And the extended payment plan goes until July 31st, but you still do have to have, I think it's $3,500 paid by January 9th. So lots of different options, but make sure that you get signed up as soon as possible, at least with that deposit, because the deposit is what keeps your competitors out. You can call CC at our number 843-569-4416, or hit us up on this email. Formal registration means that you are giving a credit debit card and you're signing the terms and conditions. You also can, I'm going to move past there real quick. You also can feel free to email me. Like if you're not sure, am I right for this program, and you just want to find out, my personal email is AmericanMade, M-A-I-D, @Comcast.net. Sounds like it's not my personal email, but it is. And feel free to hit me up. I talked to a few people after the last webinar, and I can probably help you figure out if it's a good program for you or not. This is some of the stuff that you're going to be getting, additional things that you'll be getting as part of the program. I'm not going to read all this stuff. There's too much, but there's stuff in every single area, employee manual, all the different things that are needed there, basic employee policies, what's the professional conduct that you need in all the different areas, employee compensation, time of service, benefit options, you know, what are they? Smoking, drugs, what's all that stuff all about? Office procedures, safety, you need to have a manual, it needs to be complete. Other employee policies, client relations, cleaning procedures, cleaning training tools, production planning, workloading, target marketing. This is some of the basic stuff that you want to know that you're going to be getting to, especially at the Jumpstart program. You're going to be getting a 2015 business plan, 2015 marketing plan, 2015 SEO calendar, 2015 action and implementation plan. Just these 4 things can mean the difference between changing your business for the good or staying where you are and being another 10 years doing exactly the same thing. So that is the end of my presentation today. Does anybody have any questions? I know that I'm racing through here and we're out of time. Anybody that doesn't have time to remain on the call, please email me or call me later. But if you do have questions and you have a couple of minutes, I'm happy to answer them for you. Anybody? I'm looking to see. Cece, are you on this Are you able to
I'm
unmute
in
people,
as
or is
an
that my job?
attendee. I can't currently unmute anybody who wasn't already unmuted at the beginning. So there may be some people who can, who are managing their own phones and could talk.
Okay. So if you are able to manage your own phone and you have a question, feel free to ask it now. Otherwise, go ahead and use this handy dandy little chat box that's up at the top. Comes to me looking like this. Feel free to type in there. Anybody?
The Berkowitz does not need to be cleaned.
What was that, Julie?
Closer to 28.
Darn, Julie, I can't hear you. I can see that you're speaking.
I was supposed to get and moved up on the queue, so we're not down there at front.
Okay, maybe that's just background noise that I'm hearing. All right,
So
well, if nobody has, yeah.
This is Heather in Delaware.
Hi, Heather.
Logan and I are wondering, so can we can go to the cleaningbusinessbuilders.com store and purchase the assessment, or do we have to do the whole program?
No, the program's free. I mean, the assessments are free in the program, but you can purchase them separately. You can get either just the assessment itself or the assessment with the debrief. And yeah, you can just go to the store, Heather.
Okay, all right.
It looks like, I don't know, yeah. I think that was on one of the slides as well, but it's easy to just go to cleaningbusinessbuilders.com and then look for the store. All right, any other questions? Anybody have any questions about the Jumpstart program? I know it's a crazy intense program, and I speeded through it super, super quickly. So if you have any questions, now's the time.
55 per person.
Okay, well, I guess that's it then. Nice talking to you guys. Sorry I couldn't hear what you all had to say. I'd love to be able to do a little back and forth with anybody that has any questions. Yes, you guys all saw my assessment. I like to go back and forth, and I really like to help people. So feel free to hit me up. American Made, MAID, at Comcast.net anytime you feel like it. Talk to y'all later, and everybody that's in the Jumpstart program, talk to you on the next assessment webinar. Bye-bye.